we knew ahead of time when we were being discharged from the hospital that we weren't being discharged with a brand new body, like, oh, bouncing back just wonderful, let's just go on the boat or something. Like, we knew it was gonna be kind of just like home hospital.
Don't you think we're better together? Oh, I think we are.
Good morning from not the hospital.
Do you hear that?
Tell me, what do you hear?
I hear nothing.
Oh.
No nurses, no beeping. It is good to be home.
No one has asked me. Now, this is a good thing. I feel very thankful to be able to report this. No one has asked me how I feel, how's my poop, how are my tube feeds going. No one's asked me any questions except, are you ready for your coffee? And I cannot tell you how ecstatic I am to just have a break.
I'm sorry, Ollie. I just accidentally kicked Ollie.
Oh, he was all of a sudden right there.
Oh, you wanted to come up for the vlogging?
Hi.
Good morning, Ollie. You glad to be home too?
Yeah.
We are downstairs in what used to be my office, and the day before...
And then it was the dining room.
Yeah, and then it was the dining room, and then the day before we left for the hospital, we were preparing for when we come home, and I brought the guest bed down to this room, and...
Because it was a guest bed right before. I mean, it was a guest room.
Yeah, we had set it up
After
with an
the dining
air
room.
mattress. Long story short, we have made this room downstairs, our bedrooms are upstairs, made this room downstairs a recovery room for Mary, and we slept down here last night, and it's amazing. We have the bay window right here, and Mary's plants, and...
It's just, wonderful. I haven't been upstairs since we've been home yet.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Oh, good.
But yeah, it's been a rough day. I mean, yesterday was rough. Yesterday morning in the hospital, my lungs were worse than they had been. Like, I don't know. I mean, lungs do take ups and downs during a course of IV antibiotics. My lungs do anyway. So, yesterday was definitely a not so good day. But today, you know, woke up, did my vest, did everything normal. And then as my IV antibiotics were going, I started really not feeling well, like super nauseous. So I am just grateful and happily staying right here in this bed and not moving.
You often think that, like, you can come home from the hospital and rest, and that is what we're doing, but in the midst of that, there are a lot of details. We got home around 8 p.m. last night.
Yep.
Well, first we stopped and got some dinner before we left the city, and we got a burger, and when Mary took a bite of the burger, she started crying.
I also started crying the moment I walked outside the hospital into the fresh air.
Oh, yeah.
I started crying immediately. There were so many tears yesterday for so many reasons.
There were a lot of emotions and a lot of ups and downs. But we got home. The home care company delivered Mary's IVs. Like, he got here a few minutes after we got here, and we started getting everything set up and trying to make, I don't know, trying to make this downstairs a environment for resting amidst the busyness of Mary's IV schedule. So we had to, last night we scheduled out all of her IVs because... in
the hospital, we don't really have to think about it much because the nurses are doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we know they're coming in through the night, but we hadn't really thought through exactly, like, you know, what it would be like for us to do it, and now we know.
And it's kind of like having a newborn.
Yes.
We're every couple hours hooking or unhooking an IV and mixing her imipenem has to be mixed right before it's dosed. So it's 3 times a day. Zosyn is 4 times a day. Vancomycin is twice a day. And that's for 2 hours, that vancomycin dose. So it's like there's only a couple breaks in the schedule where she's not hooked up, or
Couple hours at a time.
yeah,
Or
like
not.
actually right now is one of those little breaks until 6 p.m. But
And then so from like 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. we slept those 3 hours, and then from 6 a.m. to 12 we were on and off.
hooking and unhooking IVs.
Right.
And so I got up at 6 to, yeah, we went to bed at 3. I got up at 6 to hook up those IVs, and I just kind of stayed not asleep.
Did you stay awake that
because
whole
it was
time?
a half-hour IV, and I was like,
Right.
to go to sleep would be kind of pointless.
Right.
And so, and then I think I slept while the imipenem was infusing, because that's an hour. And then I got some sleep, and we kind of stayed in bed till noon. But
Yeah. But we just kind of,
anyways.
we knew ahead of time when we were being discharged from the hospital that we weren't being discharged with a brand new body, like, oh, bouncing back just wonderful, let's just go on the boat or something. Like,
yeah,
we knew it was going to be kind of just like home hospital
yeah.
life.
So that's what we're
one-
kind of calling it, home hospital.
Yeah, so I'm still on all the same medications, and I still have all the same side effects. So it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Previous times I've come home from the hospital, I like want to go to Target immediately. Like,
You've missed getting out and
Yeah.
doing things. And
the last time I was discharged, I wasn't able to go to Target for a week or two, and I felt so disappointed by that. Like, I was like, what's wrong with me? But this time I was like, I'm not even gonna have it in my mind. I'm gonna have it in my mind that I'm gonna stay in the bed for a week, and then we'll take it from there. But reality is, I will have to leave the house. Like, I have to go to the hospital to get blood work tomorrow, and again on Monday. And then Tuesday or Wednesday, we have a clinic follow-up, so we'll have to go to the city for that. So, like, you know, there's things we'll need to do. But for now, we are in bed. I'm in bed for the most part. He had to go out because we don't have internet today.
I was thinking that we would still be in the hospital this week, so I didn't plan this all that well. We switched our internet provider, and because our contract was up, and so when basically I left a gap day from when the service ended and when the new service starts, so we get internet tomorrow. So I had to go to Starbucks this afternoon to upload the vlog, but we got all that done. And so we
You
thought,
got it done.
well, you were cheering me on, and I was cheering her on while she did her best and did her IVs and all that. But we thought we'd show you guys our home hospital setup.
I was thinking, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thinking about how nasty my side effects were. I was thinking it could be because it's like a slightly different form.
Yeah.
You mentioned that they're in less fluids. I don't know. But I'm trying to stay hydrated. But yeah, you can go give them a home hospital tour.
Yeah. Well, the first thing we did was we have to keep Mary's kidneys hydrated, because one thing is that's different about being home is she's not hooked up to fluids like in between the IVs, and so
I'm still on my feeding tube, but not the IV,
yeah.
like, hydration.
So because a couple of these IVs are kind of toxic to the kidneys, we have to make sure she's drinking water. So we put some water back here. I made a little bowl of, this is new, the home care company sent us these little caps to go on the end of her line when she's not hooked up to an IV, and it has alcohol in it. The hospital uses one similar to this, but hey, ways to prevent, you know, line infection, I'm for it.
Which we've never had, but
Yeah.
hey.
Prevention is good policy. So, Mary's got her vest and stuff over there, and you know, just like all trace on the floor and
And like tons of IV trash, right?
yeah, so we set up a trash can over next to Mary for some of that trash. I need a trash can over here because
There's one right down there.
last night as I did Mary's IVs, I just threw them on the floor and cleaned up this morning. But I'll take you guys into the dining room where we set up an IV station because, like I said, imipenem has to be mixed. And so here's Mary's schedule that we mapped out. We had to, I don't know, we had to visualize it. And one thing we do is, Mary being on 3 IVs, it's obviously a busy schedule and you have to keep track of what's what. So the first thing we did last night was make this schedule and then put alarms in our phones so that we know when to hook up and when to unhook, especially for like those early morning ones, so I can keep straight what's first and all of that. But I set up, because it's unstable, it can't stay mixed for long, and so what we do is we take 2 bottles of, it's like powder drug, and then we take 2 bottles of sterile water, use this needle, put it in the sterile water, and put one bottle of sterile water for each drug bottle. And then for each dose, we take this syringe and this cap, it's kind of like a plastic pokey needle, and we draw out 15 milliliters of drug, so that's like a bottle and a half. So it's a little bit, I don't know, you have to keep track of what you're doing. And then after you draw out that 15 milliliters in this syringe, Mary has in the fridge, we call them IV bubbles, but they are basically, some people call them grenades, Eclipse bubbles. Eclipse is like one of the brands that does it. But basically in here, like this one is already mixed with drug. But we have one that just has saline in it, I think, and sterile water. And you unscrew the cap of this, and we shoot that 15 milliliters of drug into it. And then these are pressurized to infuse over whatever certain amount of time the IV is supposed to infuse. So it's
one of them infuses over 30 minutes, one of them is 1 hour, one of them is 2 hours.
So it's a pretty nifty, it's Mary's preferred method of having them delivered. Like sometimes IVs will be in a syringe where you push it in, and occasionally they've tried to send us home with an IV pole in a bag. It's just a lot easier than having an IV pole and
going to the bathroom like during the night. I can just, if I'm hooked up, I just pick up my 2 things and off I go.
So that's our setup, and so far it's working.
I'm so happy to be home.
Yeah, me too.
I'm so thankful.
I think this little guy's happy to be home too. And we're just gonna keep resting, and we're gonna call that a day in the Frey life. And as always, we will see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night, Allie boy.